The Ram TRX. This isn't it, but it looks just like it. And that might be a problem for some of you because the TRX had a Hellcat engine, 702 horsepower. This is basically that truck, but minus the juicy, powerful heart. Instead, it's just got a straight six, boosted, doesn't sound as good, but it's way cheaper and it's more efficient, so should you consider this thing? Let's do a walk around and just talk about the Ram RHO, as it's called. So it has all the suspension goodies that the TRX gets. So we haven't really put it to the test, but look, it can do this really easily. We just did a bunch of rock crawling, cut to rock crawling footage. It's fine, it's got a locker, it's got skid plates, it gets it done. We're gonna do some high-speed desert bashing. And I think it's gonna do great. It doesn't have the V8 engine. That's gonna be a sticking point for some of you, but it's also starts at $69,995, which is like tens of thousands of dollars less than the TRX. So, and here's the thing: half of truck buyers just want a badass looking truck. And let's get a look at the front of this truck one more time. You've got this wide body. You've got this air intake, which is an actual air intake. Actually, you know, I'm going to show you that real quick. One sec. Okay, the engine itself doesn't look that badass. There's a lot of space. It's a small engine in a big truck, but the actual intake, there it is. Twin turbo, straight six, makes 540 horsepower, which is not 702, but still plenty. This is the intake. It comes in the top through that. It's actually an intake, which is cool. Oh, well, we're rock crawling this thing, and it's got so much ground clearance that I just point it and shoot it, and it goes. The hood's pretty high, so I gotta use this camera. Sometimes you hear a bang on a skid plate. The thing's getting it done, all right? This thing is no joke. It's a bit big though, so you gotta figure that out. And compared to small 1940s Jeep, it's it actually rides better. It's better in every measurable way, other than its dimensions, which are probably twice that of a World War II era Jeep. Guts, glory, Ram. I'm feeling the glory part, really.
I'm feeling the guts part.
Ooh. The Ram RHO has a lot of great tech underneath it and under the hood and all that. And so we've got engine nerd Peter from Vehicle Synthesis. Is that what it's called?
Yeah, Synthesis, yep.
All right. Can you show us some cool tech on this truck? Show me the engine, show me the intake, because I'm kind of obsessed with it.
All right, we got the hood up here. 100% of the air that feeds this 3-liter high output engine here, twin turbo.
Comes through this hole here? So this is a real intake?
Yep.
You know how many fake intakes there are in this world? Too many. This is a wonderful thing.
Yeah, 100%. So it flows through our duct here, and it comes out through this port and down through our air box.
That seals right here
against the hood. Yep. The other really cool thing about this intake, the dirty side, if anything were to come through there, dirt, water, debris, it comes out through the back. It doesn't make this tortuous, tough turn. And there are these flaps. If I was just a little bit taller.
Here, I'm gonna use my hat.
There we go. You can see.
Son of a. Why am I so short?
Oh,
I'm gonna stand on the toe
right now.
Problem solved. Look at this.
There we go.
Look at these flaps. Incredible.
So
that's
all your water
drains out, right?
Yeah, water can flow right through, and then it keeps you know, the majority of it from getting to your air box and keeps it out of your intake, getting to your engine.
Slick. This is a 540 horsepower twin turbo straight six.
Yes, sir.
All aluminum. It seems like between about 4,000 and 6,400 is where it's really at its best.
Yeah, and especially, you know, to keep the turbo spooled up, you know, we have all different drive modes. So Baja mode, especially out here in the dirt, keeps you at a shift point that never drops below 4,500 RPM. Yeah. So no matter how gentle or aggressive you're driving, it keeps the engine spun up, so you always have power available to you.
All right, we're getting dirty. Let's get on the ground. I got a tarp. Earlier, I didn't use a tarp, and I don't know, people thought I was like on drugs or something, so let's try to avoid that. I don't want people thinking you're on drugs. You got to engineer their vehicles.
You got the dirty back to prove it from before, huh?
That's right. All right, here we go. We're going down. We're gonna look at the rear suspension, which is a solid axle with some pretty fancy Bilstein shocks.
Yes, we do.
And my favorite shock, maybe in all of human history, is the axle wrap shock absorber, which I'm just obsessed with. Here, let me take this camera and show you what I'm talking about. There it is. Up top, there's that Bilstein. And that's for axle wrap, right? Do I have that right?
Yeah, we call it a power hop damper.
Power hop.
Yes, sir.
Okay, sounds like a, I don't know, some sort of like event that like rabbits would put on. Come to the power hop. Or maybe a dance from the 50s. Yeah, that's more like
That was terrible.
Yeah, I gotta work. Coil sprung all the way around, independent in the front.
Yes, sir. Independent. And you mentioned those Bilstein shocks there before, so they're continuously adaptive dampers. So what that's doing is it's got a compression solenoid and a rebound solenoid that continuously meter the flow going through the shock. So in events where you want some wheel travel, let's say you're driving through some whoops or some rough sections, it lets the tire and wheel work underneath the truck. Let's say you get up in the air, your ride height sensors detects that you're at full droop.
Yeah.
It'll go into an algorithm and figure out how to meter that the amperage going to those shocks, and it knows the best way to prepare for a landing. So
So we got to jump this truck, is what you're saying. That's what I heard.
To see the full potential.
It's jump ready. The reservoirs appear to be they're back here, huh?
Yep.
They're right along the frame.
Yeah.
It's like 2 feet away from the actual shock there. Yeah, right behind the spring. Okay, that's the rear. Let's go to the front. Skid plate here. Oh, by the way, you know what I love? Steel bumpers. That's the American dream. Every man and woman deserves a steel bumper. Okay, we've got cast aluminum control arms there and big old Bilstein shocks. Anything that we should talk about down here now that we've laid down?
Yeah, so you got your beefy aluminum skid plate here.
I see some more back there.
Guard. Yeah, there's skid plates lining the whole way down the truck. So right behind our Dune guard up front, you got our front axle skid plate, we got a transmission skid plate, we got a skid plate for the transfer case, and also for the fuel tank.
You call this a Dune guard?
You call this a Dune guard.
Nice. Anyway, if you want a Dune guard of your own, it's $69,995, right? 540 horsepower.
Yep.
Truck that looks badass and can do Dune stuff. So, thanks a lot, Peter. Thanks for your time.
Of course. Thanks, Dave.
I'm sitting in the Ram RHO, and behind me is Johnson Valley. We're in the desert. We're testing this new Desert Runner from Ram, and they've got a tough job ahead of them with this truck, because what they've essentially done is they've taken a larger-than-life truck, the Ram TRX, and they have removed its heart and soul. That is the 6.2-liter supercharged Hellcat engine, and they've replaced it with a straight 6. And the straight 6 engine it's called the Hurricane, and this is a super high output, whatever they want to call it, 540 horsepower instead of 702. So you've lost power, you've gone from a V8 to a straight 6, and there's quite a bit of turbo lag, and it doesn't really sound like a whole lot. That's a tough sell for Ram, who wants to make it very clear that this is not a TRX replacement. It's something different. Well, how can you make that compelling to someone? You've gotten rid of the heart of something. Well, part of that is it's cheaper. Starts at 70 grand. One I'm sitting in is 88 grand, significantly cheaper than TRX. Fuel economy is up, 16 highway instead of 14, 15 combined instead of 13. So like, it's a little bit more usable, little cheaper, and you could still drive it over the desert. We're gonna do that now. All right, I'm rock crawling this thing. It's got tons of ground clearance and a locker. You can just point it and shoot it.
You're good. You're good. Just straight down, and then just.
And then to the right.
Easier. Yeah, right off to the right, right over there.
Man, this thing is quite good in the rocks, I have to say, for a large truck. A little hard to maneuver because of its size, but you've got cameras, and the ride is great. I mean, I ran over a rock that was about 2.5 feet tall, and if you had asked me, Dave, did you feel that in the back? I would have said yes. And if you had asked me, what size do you think that rock was? I would have said maybe 4 inches. That's how well the rear axle articulates. All right, I'm about to go up a gigantic dune. And with dunes, it's all about power. Pedal down power. There's no time to fuss about. You have to go all the way down on the pedal. All right, here goes nothing. Pedal down. Turbos hit. You really feel those turbos. Oh, they're hitting. It's got plenty of power when you're in boost. You know, there's not a whole lot of power below 4,000 RPM, like really when those two turbos hit. But when they do, there's plenty. I mean, we're going up a giant dune. Pedal to the metal, baby! Woohoo! Let's go! Let's see that 6. Oh, it's easy. It's got plenty of power. There's no issue. You gotta get in boost though. If you let off the pedal, the boost goes away. and then you are dead in the water until, so you gotta be careful. You gotta get back on that pedal, let the turbo spool. All right, we got this GoPro mounted right above the exhaust. So we're gonna see how this thing sounds under full pedal. Get ready. Well, that was a huge fail. Camera lasted literally 0 feet. Fell off immediately at launch. So it tells us that at least it pulls a bit. It launches pretty well. Anyway, let's try this again. After spending all day rock crawling, dune bashing, and doing 0 to 100 mile per hour pulls in the desert, I came away liking the Ram RHO. No, it doesn't have a Hellcat engine, but it costs 70 grand, which is less than a Ford F-150 Raptor costs, and that also has turbo lag issues. So, you know, for the price, it's actually kind of a badass truck, even if it's no TRX. The problem is it looks like one, and whether people can get past that, I guess we'll find out.